Welcome back, you guys, to the Philippines Qualifier Female Esports League Elite. I am Kiora, here with Hyron.
Alright, and we're back for our third game for today. It's going to be Team X versus Criminal Club Manila. Basically, we're culling the horde here. We're making sure that once we get to those finals, it's only the best, the strongest, the most adaptable team. So let's get right into pick and bans. I'm quite excited for this. Bans immediately. Malphite, Leona, Oriana taken away from Criminal Club, and Zach, Galio, and Sejuani banned away from Team X.
Right, so Team X actually used Zach last game, so I think they're doing a target ban for Lewis Gaming. And the Malphite going down, I'm not sure why
I think it's
banned
just
that Malphite out.
it might be a pocket pick for one of the members of Criminal, but it seems like both of these teams, they're taking away very team fight centric champions for these bans. Jarvan immediately locked in here, probably for Luis Gaming. As for Criminal Club, we're gonna see an Urgot.
That's spicy Urgot.
Yeah, spicy Urgot. So strong, almost no weaknesses in lane, very consistent. Tristana.
Right, we're going to be having the hyper carry Tristana picked on Criminal's side. But let's talk about the narrative actually for this game. What's really important here is speaking about Suzy Soar in Team X. Since Suzy Soar is one of those celebrity streamers, we actually have another pair of celebrity streamers on another team that they will go against if Team X wins this game. That team is Barcy Esports. So if Team X wins against Criminal Club Manila, they will be going against Barcy Esports, which has Mika Daime and Alexa Asahina on their team.
Yeah, because you can see that's on our brackets. But first, Team X has to win this against Criminal Club to get that story going. So they're definitely hungry for a win here. They had a good showing in the first game we had today, and it's going to be quite exciting how they play against this one, Criminal Club Manila. And right now, they're going to lock in the Sivir. So Sivir, with the 9.1 changes, has a buff during team fights and skirmishes with champions. So definitely a good pickup right there. The Nami, very solid support all around. As for Criminal Club Manila, they're picking up Tristana. They're picking it really early, but it seems like it doesn't phase Team X. And the Karma might go into support role. Could possibly go for Pippi if they want to go for protect the Tristana composition, possibly. Let's look at the bans. Akali banned out against Team X. Seems like Criminal Club Manila, they're really going for a lot of these meta champions, banning them away, priority picking them. It's quite refreshing to see Criminal Club do this.
Yeah, so Lissandra going down on the bans for Team X. Another really flex pick, another really reliable pick that they could be that they banned out for Criminal Club Manila. Probably maybe a flex pick, a target ban against the mid laner of Criminal Club Manila.
And aside from that, the Criminal Club has also banned here Dr. Mundo. Suzy Source, Dr. Mundo, quite scary, quite beefy if left unchecked. We saw that in game 1. And Nocturne, batting away from Criminal Club Manila will be the Nocturne, so they don't want that level 6 pressure that can be applied using that champion. A Mumu banned here from picked for Criminal Club. Locked in. Not a very common jungler that we see.
Not a very common jungler, but here we see a classic from Suzy Soar, the classic Gnar, her favorite champion.
Definitely her favorite. Might be getting, we're probably seeing that Dino Gnar in action in that top lane. It's going to be quite a sight here. Probably going to go up against the Urgot. We're going to talk about the matchup once everything finishes up, once we've confirmed where the Urgot and Karma are. Syndra possibly locked in here for Untitled for the mid lane.
Right, so now we're going to be going to Wefpi hovering and locking in that LeBlanc.
Seems like they will be getting I like this classic Syndra and LeBlanc matchup, where it's just a battle to see who has the better mechanics, who can control the lane more so they can roam more easily. So it's going to be quite interesting scene. So this does confirm the Karma will be going on the support role. And it seems like across the board, I'm really scared of Team X's composition because they have this.
They seem very well-rounded in this part, where they have the Jarvan, the Gnar, the Syndra, and then even the Nami too.
Yeah,
it's very well-rounded. They're very good for team fights. They could combo really, really well here.
It's gonna be quite terrifying if they are very well-rounded, but they have that aggressive edge coming in from the Sivir as well. So quite scary. As for Criminal Club, they've got very reliable champions here. They've got the LeBlanc, if it goes well in lane, can go for a lot of high kill roams. The Urgot, definitely one of the strongest top laners. Can punish the Gnar heavily if Suzy Sor is not able to try and control that lane, time her rages, her transformations. It's gonna be up to the top laner here for I think it's City, City, to see. And interestingly enough, it doesn't seem like Criminal Club is carrying teleports. They just have ignites.
Right. So they're going very aggressive with that Urgot in lane right there with the ignite coming down for City against that Suzy Sor's Gnar. So you mentioned that that he's going ignite. Do you think that it would be better for him to go teleport in this instance, or is it fine that he goes ignite?
I think a lot of Urgots take Unsealed Spellbook anyway.
Yeah, I was
so
about to
they
ask
will
that
be
too.
So they will be able to take teleport when they need it. I think every single competitive Urgot that has been picked in Kespa Cup in the Brazilian League has picked up Unsealed Spellbook. It's only the variation of the secondary rune set, but definitely they do have that teleport when they need it. But it doesn't seem like Team X will be going for a double teleport. Seems like they will be satisfied with this double ignite setup, just regular across the board. And really, it's gonna all depend on whether, say, City, or rather, Wefp, just call her Wefp. Wefp can get a good control and priority over mid lane. She can go for roams, and that could turn the tide in their favor. Because we saw how terrifying Tristana could be if left unchecked in Game 2. So if Pippi can get going, if Pau can get her ganks right, it's going to be quite difficult for Team X to match the aggressiveness that could come from Criminal Club.
Right. I think the synergy of Amumu, Urgot, and LeBlanc in team fights wouldn't be like that great, but I think it'll be something interesting to watch. I want to see how they work together to make that team fight really, really happen.
Seems like a lot of picks. They want to go for a lot of picks, but they also have that team fight potential with the Amumu, Karma, and Tristana. And Urgot, definitely a monster in these team fights. Very beefy, but also a lot of big damage threat as well. So I think it's going to be quite up to the junglers here. It's up to Pau, it's up to Luis Gaming. So to see whether they'll be able to apply and execute their compositions, because they definitely have clear win conditions, especially Team X. But like I said, it's all up to the communication, the execution, the mechanics, all the little details that happen in game.
Just to solidify and be clear to the viewers, what are the win conditions of these teams?
Definitely for Team X, it's to have a solid laning phase, be able to get that ball rolling with the Sivir, lots of lane pressure to be applied, and then they can start roaming around and just go for the death ball comp with the Sivir. As for Criminal Club Manila, they want to get the pickoffs to solidify their position in the early game and the mid game. So this transition will be a lot smoother coming into late game, because they definitely have powerful picks across the board, especially the Tristana and the Urgot. So very big threat. Is going to be up to the junglers, I believe, to change the flow of the game in their favor.
Right. So I think we're just waiting for the teams to get into game. We're at the loading screen right now, and let's talk a bit more about the narrative for this game. The reason why it's so interesting, the reason why it's so a lot is at stake for Team X is because Mika Daima and Alexa Asahina and Suzy Sor used to be on the same team together.
That was a few years ago, but they definitely have that experience and that history together. And a lot of, I think also on Team GGTY from the previous game, a few of their members were also not in the same team, but in the same like all-female league that Mika Daime, Alexa Asina, and Suzy Sor were like years ago. They also have that experience, and I think that played a lot into GGTY's like cohesiveness as a team. So I'm expecting a lot from Team X, and I'm excited to see if they're able to beat Criminal Club here, because Criminal Club, they could be quite the contender. We're not sure yet. We haven't seen.
Yeah, we haven't seen them play.
They might be like secret OP.
Secret.
So yeah, so we're gonna. It's very exciting. Like there's the narrative as well, but there's also the fact that Criminal Club could stop Team X in their tracks.
In their tracks.
Yeah.
They could basically just take it all away from them. They could take the championship away from them. They could take the game away from Barcy Esports and going against Team X as well.
But of course, now it's all up to execution, guys. A little pause just to finalize the settings, but this is Team X versus Criminal Club Manila for a female esports league elite Philippine qualifiers. And right, like I said, we're thinning the crowd here. We're making sure that the survival of the fittest definitely for our teams.
While we're waiting as well, let's thank Mineski Infinity for being our venue partners as well. Everybody right now is at Mineski Infinity, and they're having a rumble, a takedown right now, up in there.
Yeah, there's like lots of people there. Consider that there were like around 15, 16 teams who started, and then each team has 5 members with 1 or 2 subs. That's a lot. I can't do the quick math in my head right now, but it's definitely like that sense of community that we were talking about earlier. So let's see how they play their level 1 city. Might be getting into a little bit of trouble. Can't just regen that back or even recall to recover that, but it seems like just a regular lines of scrimmage.
Yeah, seems like they're just protecting their jungles, guarding their jungles, making sure no wards are to be found yet. We see, though, that Team X put a ward down right by the river. Criminal Club Manila wasn't able to put their ward down yet. I think they were scared to put it down for maybe that Nar and Syndra could have been there. Maybe they were scared that the ward would just die. But yeah, they were able to spot out the Syndra by just walking around in the river.
Oh, and look at that. FB going for that deep ward onto the Raptors, using that distortion to make everything quite smooth.
So yeah, pretty normal start right now. There's Jarvan at the red buff and Amumu at the blue buff, getting their leashes out from their bottom lanes, and yeah.
Getting to level 2. This could translate into a gank if either of these junglers are feeling it. It doesn't seem like Pao will have the health for it. Luis could go for a level 2 gank after going for these Krugs onto the bot lane, onto Pippi and Danielle. But if she doesn't find it, she can just go straight to clearing the rest of her camps.
So yeah, Amumu going straight for the Scuttler Crab right now. I saw the ping go down on the Scuttler Crab, said, "I'm coming here, I'm about to take the Scuttler Crab, just take note of this."
And seems like Team X, because of that ward placed earlier by Untitled, behind the red buff of Pao, they know that she pathed around that. They know, it seems like Lewis Gaming gonna go for that level 2 gank. Doesn't seem like it translates too much. It does pressure Pippi and Danielle, a little bit of a chunk of HP loss, but that's also lots of time lost for Lewis in terms of the clear.
Alright, so yeah, some pretty good League of Legends going around here. The very great mind games with the wards, and amazing pathing going down for the junglers.
It still looks like Pao, lots of damage coming in from Yaya. And I'm really liking the use of Sivir here. I've been waiting to see a Sivir in competitive play. That buff in 9.1 definitely helping him out. Just a few regular trades in the mid lane. Yeah, really aggressive. Yeah, Lewis wants to go straight for it with a flash onto the flag and drag. And the kill, first blood, goes to Janelle.
Wow, alright, so you see the pathing of Lewis right there. Very aggressive, wanted to go back for the gank onto their bot lane, onto Criminal Club Manila's bot lane, and successfully got that kill onto that Karma.
Yeah, and Yaya, she's been constantly pressuring Pippi, making sure that it's difficult for her to CS, and that kill, even though it didn't go straight to Yaya, that's still a good chunk of gold for Team X, and that's what they want. They want the Sivir to get ahead so they can get the death ball rolling. They don't want the Tristana to get any leads whatsoever, to slow down her scaling as much as possible. So good on Lewis. That was very good pathing, and he seems like Untitled might be in trouble here. You know, the bandage toss not quite materializing. Wefby still going for the kill possibly, but it doesn't seem like she can finish it off.
Alright, so she kind of wasted her Ignite right there, trying to go for a premature kill, but not being able to get it quite yet.
And definitely waste of an Ignite there. Seems like, oh, Lois just has a smite to finish that up. And it's interesting. I think Criminal Club should have known that because Lois ganked the bot lane, that means that the top lane camps might not have been cleared. So Pao, he might have had a chance. She might have had a chance to try and get some top lane camps from Lewis, but it seems like she didn't go for that. Instead, cleared her own side of the jungle and then attempted a gank, which didn't materialize because the bandage toss just missed by a mile.
Right. So actually, not by a mile. It was pretty close in my opinion because the creeps were coming.
Oh yeah.
He tried to get as much as possible past the creeps, which it did. But you know, unfortunately, it wasn't close enough. But it was almost there.
Yeah, definitely. But Untitled staying in the lane pretty long here. Wefby doesn't have the Ignite anymore, but that LeBlanc can still deal a lot of damage in short bursts, and Tidal needs to be careful. She still has her own Ignite, which is a deterrent for Wefby, but it seems like both of our mid laners just deciding, okay, I'm out of here. Possibly. Doesn't seem like they might spend their gold soon. Let's see how the junglers, they might converge around the top side here.
Right, they might converge it on the top side here, but it seems like they might be meeting each other around the Rift Herald's pit. And what is happening over at the top side?
A little bit of trouble. I don't think Luis Gaming can materialize that. Wefby was pushing Untitled into her turret, and Untitled was out of mana, so if ever that became a 1v2, that would have been bad for Team X.
That would have been really, really bad. But, you know, fortunately, Untitled was pushed in and wasn't able to get to Pao. So, right now, if ever Pao decides to come back towards the mid lane, that might be able to get a kill right there since Untitled's flash is
Luis really wanted to go for Wefby there. Oh, look at that.
Oh, no.
Smooth Criminal coming in from Wefby. Gets the kill onto Untitled. Can she escape the grasp of Luis? The flag does not go through. Cannot get onto it. But it seems like she's slurping up those fruit right there. Going to slow her down a little bit. Can she make it over the wall? She does. As Pao is right around the corner to back her up. Suzy Sor not able to get there in time to finish off the kill.
As you saw, Suzy Sor was desperately trying to get to Wefby right there, completely ignoring City at the moment, but they weren't really able to make it in time.
Definitely, I like the confidence from Criminal Club's mid laner there, realizing that okay, I can go in there and get out of there without dying. And smooth, like I said, smooth Criminal plays coming in from Wefby, and I'm expecting a lot more the more kills she gets.
Right. That was very tricky of her. Very tricky. Very nice. Very well done.
Yeah, role-playing that LeBlanc.
Really role-playing that LeBlanc.
Let's see, however, it seems like the action has plateaued a little bit, but Lewis wants to change that pace of the game in this bot side. Even Untitled is there, very, very patient, and doesn't seem like Wefby is around the corner. I think they know that Untitled here because she's clearing the ward, but if ever that she didn't attack that ward, maybe they could have gotten someone off guard. Seems like they will just reset, get out of there, go back to their lanes, go back to their camps.
Right, so it's a 1-for-1 right now. No gold, not a really big gold lead so far, just 1k. Right now, it's just pretty even so far across the map. It's not that big of a deal with the CS leads and whatever, you know. It's just, all very even.
Yeah, it seems like but these two teams are hungry. They're looking for an opportunity to get in there. And it seems like Lewis Gaming, WFB trying to be tricky, trying to be slick, but it seems like she can get the double distortion out of there. But Low is still hot in pursuit, Untitled just right behind them. However, that Scattered the Weak will not be enough to get a stun onto WFB. And once again, slippery mid laner here coming from Criminal Club does get chunked down. So this gives Untitled complete priority here for now.
Right. So you see how Lewis Gaming is so...
Oh man, that is unfortunate for WFB, but just lives with a sliver of health.
Yeah. Fortunately, she was able to get out of there with her life. WFP almost going down to Untitled.
Untitled getting that Scattered the Weak. Unfortunately, not enough spheres, not enough balls online to get that one shot. But of course, since WFP has to back off, this could give the mid lane a little bit of leeway to get maybe a plating or two. Plus, Infernal Drake for Lewis Gaming. Yeah, I think Untitled is gonna get 2 platings off of this turret and Infernal Drake, and I like it, like Iconic and I were saying earlier. Oh, never mind that. Luis for now trying to get out of here. WFP trying to go for those Seals of Malice, and Titled around the corner to possibly catch Little Blanc off guard, but she doesn't fall for it.
Right. So as we were saying earlier, Iconic was talking about the types of dragons that you would like to get as a jungler in the early game. And he said that the Infernal Drake and the Ocean Drake are the most important drakes that they want to get. And now that they got this Infernal Drake, they can add it onto their stats, to the raw stats, raw damage, raw power that they have now for their team fights.
Yeah, especially in this kind of composition where you have the Sivir leading the charge on the hunt. And just straight on rolling down the hills and trying to destroy Criminal in one fell swoop. That Infernal Drake will help them a lot, especially if they get a second stack of that. Once we get onto the Dragon Pit, we might be able to see, I will be able to see which the next Drake is, because that's going to be pivotal on the next play of these two teams in the next 5 minutes or so.
Right. So we see now a little bit of a CS discrepancy within the mid lane. Syndra 84 CS with LeBlanc at 77. Earlier it was 74. They were at like a 10 CS difference, but that's not a really big deal at the moment. But you could see that they both have their lost chapter, but Syndra has the blasting wand already.
That's a big chunk of AP going to Untitled here. WFB opted to go for the Dark Seal and the Doran's Ring just to be a little bit more sustainable in lane. Plus, those boots will help him as he tries to roam around, gets those kills, gets those sneaky escapes for when she goes for these really high octane plays. So it's going to be quite fun to see how she moves around the map. But Untitled is making it hard for her, always pushing in that wave when she can to prevent WFB from roaming without any consequence.
Right. So Lewis Gaming being really active again in the jungle, pushing Pau away, fighting over the Scuttler crowd actually currently. Let's see who gets that.
Seems like Lewis is leading it away, but seems like going all in. Pau tries to go for that. WFB as well, but she gets caught in Untitled's trap. However, not enough spheres to finish off that kill, but Untitled still in hot pursuit of that Amumu City, fighting it off with Susizor, who has transformed, gets the wall bang. He's probably gonna go down, but it seems like that Meganar not mobile enough to catch up to City here. WFB trying to go for some slick plays.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, the Ignite gets her, and Lewis Gaming traps Pau in. Untitled trying to get the kill here, but double kill goes to Lewis.
Wow, alright, so eventful right now, so powerful, so much action happening in the mid lane. I don't think it was a good idea for WFP to go in for that kill right there, since she was pretty low, you know.
Yeah, she was looking to see if she can get damage in or a kill in without getting killed in return, using, because of course LeBlanc has a lot of tools, a lot of deceptive tools like the distortion, but man, eventually crime doesn't pay, and that costs him his life, her life for that one. And this gives Team X a little bit of an advantage here. 13 minutes, 3k gold lead, that is substantial. And we're seeing it right now as Yaya has built her Storm Razor, has completed her Storm Razor at this point, with Pippi only with a Ninja Tabi as well as the BF Sword.
Right. So if they choose to fight right here, if they choose to have a little duel, you'll see the little bit of a damage difference coming out from Yeya versus Pippi. And their karma, Danielle, is kind of low with Lewis Gaming right behind them. Let's see if anything will materialize.
She has to be careful here. She has a rocket jump for safety, but Tidal Wave goes in, does not catch either of them, but Lewis still going hard. Seems like they will back off after realizing it's not worth it to push that.
Yeah, not worth it to dive that either.
So it seems like they're still going to be sneaky, however. Gonna be tricky if Criminal believes that Lewis has rotated away, but it seems like, will Pippi actually, seems like they will actually, it seems like Yeya wasn't in position to actually follow that up, but that is a flash burn for Pippi. They could go for a repeat gank after, or go for this Drake, which I believe is the Mountain Drake. Seems like this will go uncontested, as well as Pau is on the top side. They did get the Rift Herald, so this is Rift Herald for Mountain Drake.
Rift Herald for Team Criminal, and Team X will be getting the Mountain Drake.
Yeah, and the timing for getting that Mountain Drake is important, as Iconic said in the earlier game. At 14 minutes, we're going to have to see if they're able to put themselves in a position where they can actually use that Rift Herald to get high value, multiple turrets at all, and Untitled might be in trouble. Get the bandage toss, does connect. It seems like there's lots of bursts coming from Wefby. The revenge coming from the ultimate from Untitled is not enough, and Wefby, however, gets killed in return, but now Lewis trapped behind enemy lines. Criminal Pau seems like she's not gonna go for that bandage toss, and Lewis lives to fight another day.
Right, so that was some intense gameplay right there with, I thought actually that Wefby was going to die, but fortunately she distorted into Untitled at the last second. Unfortunately though, she had to give her life for that.
But I think it's worthwhile trade here for Criminal Club. Wefby still getting kills while matching the CS of Untitled. It seems like right now, City and Danielle, they want to get this mid lane. They could get a lot of value from this one. Possibly at least one turret.
Getting that last minute turret plating right there too.
Definitely lots of cash money, but it seems like they will only get average value from that Rift Herald. They might even, okay, that's gonna be a short dash away from City to make sure that they don't get caught out. But in the meanwhile, it seems like Suzy Sor was able to get the top lane turret, and that's also a lot of gold value for Team X, even with that Rift. So Criminal had to use Rift Herald to get something that Team X was gonna get without that big tool. So it seems like Team X is in the driver's seat right now.
Actually, yeah, since they were able to do that, it seems like that they have a big advantage over Criminal Club Manila.
And so far, it doesn't seem like Criminal Club. I mean, Wefby needs to roam a lot more to be a lot more impactful, because Pau alone, yes, Amumu has lots of CC, but it's quite difficult to actually connect all of it at once.
Correct.
In the right order. So Wefby needs to be able to roam and support the other lanes, because I don't think Pau is enough compared to Lewis Gaming, who's now 3-0-1.
Yeah, I was about to comment on that 3-0-1 Jarvan as well. Since you have the 600 gold bounty, you want to kind of shut down that Jarvan right there, since, you know, letting her... Oh,
it seems like Wefby gonna try and be slippery. Can get a double distortion out, but now Pau in the middle of everything. Lots of damage taken from Untitled. Can they actually finish off the kill? The Scatter the Weak does not connect. Wefby still playing games with Untitled and Lewis. Can she get out? Team X is in hot pursuit. Speed boost onto Untitled, and Suzy Sor friggin' smacks her on the wall. Sorry. Friggin' just yeets her into a wall and gets the kill. Oh man, I'm so sorry, but City, the fight is not done. City and Criminal are still fighting it out. Team X gets a turret on top of those kills, getting even more gold in their pockets. It seems like they're looking to try and get the second tier turret. They have the momentum.
Alright, so wow, that was explosive. what I think went wrong there was WFP tried to stay behind and kill that ward, which I don't think was a very good idea.
That was not an outstanding move.
She should have just ran away from all of the action. She shouldn't have stayed behind. She should have tried to kill that ward. It was a really bad idea coming out from there because Syndra and the Untitled and Lewis Gaming were so close behind. It wasn't a proper play.
A little bit overconfident and cocky there coming in from WFP, and in the end, she pays for it because that gave Suzy Sora a lot of time to rotate to the mid lane.
Exactly, since the top lane is gone, Suzy Sora has the freedom to roam around the map.
If WFP had just escaped or recalled, she could have regened her health and then be there to protect the second tier turret at least. But because Team X was able to get 2 free turrets with kills on top, that is a good bonus for Team X, and this puts them at around 5,000 gold lead. And on top of the Infernal Drake and the Mountain Drake, this could make their team fights and their sieges a lot more painful and grueling for Criminal Club. And right now, it doesn't seem like Pippi is accelerating into that hyper carry role just yet. Just now, finishing the Storm Razor and then building up components for more crit. And as Iconic said, crit carries can be quite difficult because their power spike doesn't come until 3 items.
Right. So that's exactly what Iconic was talking about right now. The hyper carries, the crit carries, they only have their spike around 3 items. To talk more about the AD carries right now, who do you think would be... Oh, what's happening? Okay. No, I thought there was going to be a fight.
They might be setting up something around here.
I thought there might be a fight
because Mountain Drake is up.
Yeah, and they're all coming down into the bottom lane right now. Seems like all the team members are trying to go around the Drake. They're all pinging each other, saying, let's go around here, you guys. Just, they're coalescing around the bottom lane, converging towards each other, saying... there might be a fight.
Yeah, because Team X has the better position here, but WFP looking to be sneaky once again, trying to go for a flank on a squishy, maybe Yaya or Janelle. But definitely right now, I think Team X has a superior position because if a WFP goes in, they can just converge onto WFP and then strike out at an angle from onto Criminal Club Manila. But it seems like right now, Team X satisfied with just waiting around the wings. Criminal has no vision over here.
This is very awkward positioning for Criminal Manila. Very awkward since WFP was around the corner. If she goes by herself and then if the other team members come with her, it would have been not that great of a flank since LeBlanc is a pick-off champion. She's an assassin. She's supposed to pick off team members when they're by themselves. And Team X was all bunched up together. That wouldn't have spelled a good team play for Criminal Club Manila.
And I like how Team X is playing this right now because they were pressuring Pippi really hard. They were making sure that they had complete control over bot lane. Pippi was pushed onto her turret, and now that Criminal has basically conceded that, Team X gets that Mountain Drake without a fight. So they basically won that Mountain Drake without even fighting.
Right. So I think what's happening right now is Pippi is just trying to get as much resources as much as possible to build up more crit, to build up more damage so that they can have a proper team fight. Since their mid laners 2-3, their junglers 0-2, their top laners 1-1, it's not that big of a problem for them to... They could probably come back from this stalemate, this sort of stalemate. They're at a little bit of a disadvantage right now, but if they try their best to take all the resources in, they could probably get the knee up.
Yeah, that's right, and they really just need Pippi. They really just need Pippi to complete her items as fast as possible, get her solo lane farm, because right now, she's basically one of their biggest hopes right now, and WFP. And WFP is one of their keys here, because if WFP is able to get a good flank, then Team X could, the death ball could fizzle out, and Criminal could possibly get better kills, as well as City. If they can get this kill onto Suzy Sor, Bandage Toss has been dodged, but cannot escape the curse of the mummy. But everyone is just piling onto Suzy Sor, dealing so much damage. Suzy Sor very, very tanky, but now in mini form, but just in time for that speed boost to get her out of there.
Right, so that was a very good dodging and evading skill from Suzy Sor right there. Not too much damage came out of that skirmish.
Weffy, though, could go for something against Untitled, but so much damage coming in from that Syndra, not enough, and he gets taken down. Turret trades, bot lane and top lane for Team X and Criminal, but Lewis Gaming, yeah, they're still pushing on hard, and they get 2 turrets, and I think Team X gets the better end of that deal.
True. That was 2 turrets for 1, and then a trade 1 for 1 for the mid laners. It wasn't that. I mean, did Weffy die?
Yeah,
Weffy
she didn't die.
All right, so that wasn't even a 1 for 1.
But
that wasn't even a 1 for 1.
But still, it was in favor. The kill was in favor of Criminal, but because this opens up so much of the map for Team X, I'd have to chalk it up as a Team X win in that rotation and that push.
That rotation was really nice for Team X right there. Getting those 2 turrets is a big deal. It's really opening up the map right now for them. With their mid lane open, with Criminal Club Manila's mid lane is open, and their bot lane as well. Their last mission is to get the top lane turret.
Yeah, and they're now dancing around Baron here. It's now a real possibility. 2 Mountain Drakes, Team X will just shred that Baron down. And the thing with Criminal is that they can get, if they can get a proper flank here, if they can get Pippi to get those free hits, if she can finish those items fast, then Criminal can start like making waves in this game. But right now, Team X firmly in the driver's seat. Yaya has already completed 2 of her items and is now building towards that Infinity Edge. So it's gonna be quite the ordeal here for Criminal, because Team X, if Criminal wants it, Criminal does not want a straight up 5-on-5 team fight, because Team X will just run over them.
Exactly. It's just they're so much at an advantage, and they have that Infernal Drake on top of that. It's just going to roll over all of them, just steamroll them.
What Criminal basically wants is to isolate a member of Team X. Maybe Weffy can get a flank kill on a squishy like Yaya or Untitled, but the later the game goes, Pippi is gonna be vital to their success, and City, she needs to be able to be that team fight presence. She's already building up quite a number of useful items for her with the Black Cleaver, that Jorem's Fist as well. Quite tanky in the middle of everything, but she needs Pau and Danielle to be able to shine in those team fights, be that threat in those team fights.
You mean Weffy?
City and Weffy rather, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, alright. So, basically, right now, I was looking at the LeBlanc, I was looking at Weffy, and I don't think, as we were talking before, we've been mentioning that she needs to pick off people and help her teammates around the map. I don't think I've been seeing much of that happening so far. She's just been dueling a lot with her mid laner, opposing mid laner, but she hasn't been able to kill or assassinate other team members on the other side for Team X.
Yeah, hasn't really flanked, not a lot of roams during laning phase. And right now I think she's gearing towards surviving an assassination attempt, so she can get that Banshee's Veil, a little bit of AP and damage to supplement her, but she's not gonna die outright to Untitled, who's building a lot more offensively. But look at that, Team X, 3 Mountain Drakes.
Oh my goodness.
Scary.
Gracious. That's some really big pushing power right there for Team X. Really scary coming out for Criminal Club Manila. So yeah, if they choose to go for this Baron, actually, they could just mow it down. They could just take that really, really fast.
And definitely, Weffy could go for Luis, but she has the backup of the rest of her team, Suzy Sor and City. They will face it off on the top side. And with a split push going on, City definitely a threat. She hasn't had a chance to shine in these team fights so far, because most of the time Criminal is not getting into these 5v5s. She's mostly a lot of skirmishes between 3 or 4 members. But once those actually happen, maybe City can make a difference in these team fights, because she deals quite a bit of damage.
Right. So we're just looking for do you think that Criminal Club Manila is looking for a team fight or looking for another pick? Because I feel like if they get a team fight down, it might be a successful one for Criminal Club Manila.
If they are going to go for a team fight, it has to be one where they have the numbers advantage, either from catching someone off guard or from WefB assassinating a target. That's their chance to pull the trigger. But if Team X still has all 5 of their members and they are in proper formation, Team X will just roll over them. They will just pile drive them into the ground here, because so much raw stats, so many items here for Team X, and they can just have a very stable, very fast attempt here against Criminal. And it seems like Criminal does not want any of that. They want to be able to get those pickoffs. But Team X, so far, they haven't been too isolated, and if they do, they have the tools to get out. So it's quite hard for Criminal Club.
Yeah. So let's see what happens so far. I'm excited to see the team fight that may take place. The teams are just resetting right now. Look at the top lane. Severe and Nami just going at the top. I think they're going to be pushing out that top lane,
really
attempting to take that top lane down so that they can open up for the Baron.
Yeah, they want to take control of this. They want to build up the wave. And as you can see, Susisor and the bot side is building up quite a substantial wave as where Team X has complete visual control over the Baron pit here. And it's going to be hard for Criminal Club to try and stop this. It seems like there's lots of pings to try and get it, to try and start it, or to try and establish even more control over it. But it seems like right now, Death Brush here, Criminal Club, they don't want to face check this, but it seems like it's an early reveal here coming from Untitled, and that just ruins the plans for now. Team X needs to restart this.
Right. So right now they're just
Oh man, Luis, she's aggressive, chunking down Pau and City. Forget what I said about City being tanky because of the Black Cleavers coming in here. She can just penetrate through the armor that City has right now, and that health will just keep going down. Team X still looking. Everything that they're doing here in this top side is to get greater control over the Baron pit, and we're gonna have to see. Criminal Club, they're on the ropes here.
Right. So a ping going down at the bottom lane for Suzisor's Gnar. I think they're going to be sending down their bottom lane to protect their tower. Not a good idea since Team X is actually around the Baron. They might start that.
Or they might just continue to push this. WefB is around a corner. She can get something good here, but Criminal, they need to be careful. They're at the numbers disadvantage here. And if WefB gets caught out like that, if Pau goes in, forced to use the flash, that's a huge tool. They might just keep going. Lois gets stopped from using her ultimate. WefB gets an assassination onto Janelle, but yeah, and the rest of Team X's carry still going strong. That might stop Team X from their plans just now. WefB finally getting a good flank and a good kill onto a squishy, but Team X unfazed.
Right. So WefB finally getting that good flank down, but it wasn't one of the important carries that she needed to prioritize. I think they were a bit too far away, a bit too protected, but at least she got one of the members that she needed to get. So basically, it stopped them in their tracks from pushing down that top lane, and it stopped them from going for the Baron. It stopped them from advancing too much, and it was a good job from WefB. Like, very good applause.
Because Janelle is actually a pretty big part of Team X's sustain during sieges. They don't have an Ocean Drake here. They only have their heals coming in from Janelle, and as well with that Ardent Sensor, could go for greater attack speed onto Yaya, but without that, they're not as confident in trying to get that top lane turret. But it seems like they will rotate towards the Cloud Drake, colloquially called the Clown Drake. But
Clown Drake.
Yeah,
why
Clown
is
Drake. Because, as Iconic said, it's not as useful as the other 3 elemental drakes. Of course, the bonus doesn't hurt, but it's definitely not something you want compared to, say, Mountain Drake or Infernal Drake or even Ocean Drake.
That's true. That's true. The Mountain Drake, the Infernal Drake, and the Aqua Drake, whatever you call it, the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, the Ocean Drake. Yeah.
They seem to be more appealing in this sense. If ever you want a Drake.
because even if seems like Luis might go for something here. Because the movement speed is useful, but rotations are more about the decision making than it is about the movement speed.
Right.
And the chases, it's not gonna be because the moment where you're chasing, you can still get like towers instead. So I'd rather get the rest of the drakes here, but seems like they are still going for this Baron. They have 3 mountain drakes in their pockets. They're gonna just shred through this. As soon as they saw Pippi on bot side, they were like, okay, let's do this. Let's call for the Baron. Will Criminal be able to stop it? They're sending members in, but now Team X has already finished the Baron, and there's nothing left for Criminal, not even a few scraps, and they might even run into trouble here with a tidal wave, knocking up Pau. She is isolated. Wefby cannot get a kill onto Luis. Quite tanky. City, she might try and go for something against AD carry, but Yaya is with the rest of her team, but they're still dealing a lot of damage. Now City really tunnel visioning onto Janelle here. However, gets taken down by the rest of Team X. Wefby still looking for a kill, but this is a death ball right now. Team X looking to knock on Criminal's doors, looking to kick their walls down, looking to breach this site.
Alright, so that wasn't a really good move from Pippi going down into the bottom lane, knowing that Team X would be going for that Baron eventually, knowing that Team X has that power to shred down.
Oh man, look at that.
Oh, no!
Dear, the yell goes down. Inhibitor gets taken down as well. Team X, will they linger, or will they try and spend all the gold they just earned and reset, because they still have quite a few minutes of this Baron buff? Wefby trying to go for a brave play here, has to flash out. That's another tool that they've lost. Team X, they just have to recall and reset and then go back to Criminal's walls, bot lane, mid lane, and start tearing down those turrets.
Right, so, Hiron, this is a really scary team.
Yeah.
A really scary team. They've been performing really, really well lately, these 2 games. So
yeah, the rotations have been on point. Their calls on objectives have been generally good. Untitled has solved, I would say, a few of her problems from game 1 of being a little bit too early on the Orianna plays, and I think it's she's a little bit more comfortable here on the Syndra. On Wefby, well, she's very confident. On the side of Criminal, she's very confident. She can make those mechanically hard plays, but the thing is, sometimes her confidence gets the better of her, and she goes in, bites off more than she can chew, and dies for it.
Yeah.
Wefby, though, might get a free tuna dinner here on Janelle. Gets knocked up, but oh man, surprise! Here comes Untitled and Yaya, and she's gonna go down. And that once again, I was just talking about how Wefby can get overconfident or tunnel vision, and that's bait. That's a bait for fishing here coming in from Janelle.
Right, so now they're converging towards the mid lane. Let's see if anything happens here as they push the mid lane turret. Let's see.
They're definitely going to be very confident here. Team X, for 30 seconds, Criminal does not have their member who has, I believe, the most gold with 4 kills. And right now, Team X, they're just waiting for the waves, and they will tear down this mid lane inhibitor turret and possibly the inhibitor as well. Maybe even nail down the game after that. They're just pushing it hard.
It seems like Criminal Club Manila can't do anything in response.
They're going for it.
And I think Team X will be taking the game for now. Actually, no. It seems like they're actually fighting back.
It's not just finished just yet. Habang may buhay, may pag-asa dito. Criminal Club looking to defend the last vestiges of their base. It seems like, however, Team X is just tearing this down effortlessly, and collateral damage is just what's happening to Criminal. They're not even the main focus here, and the Nexus is being taken down. Criminal trying their hardest to fight back, but Team X gets the ace. They get the game against Criminal Club Manila, and they take away, once again, one of their games.
So beautiful gameplay right there from Team X, and congratulations to Team X as well to getting as far as they did, because they are going to be going against Barcy Esports
Gotta be
next.
Quite exciting and intriguing to see that match. But looking at Criminal Club Manila, they had a lot of potential. Wefby, very confident, has mostly the skills to back it up, but she needs to temper that confidence with wisdom, with decision making, because there's a lot of times where she could have made better plays for her team, but just outright failed to do so. But lots of potential for that team, but Team X wins it for this day.
I think they did a really good performance, Criminal Club Manila. Their AD carry, Pippi, did pretty well. I mean, that one mistake for going to the bottom lane in Baron, that she could probably just work on her decision making. That's all you really need. But her performance as in mechanics, pretty good.
Yeah, she was able to stave off not a lot of deaths on her part as well.
She was 0-0-0, I think.
So pretty decent all around, but we're going to be excited to see how Team X performs against Barca Esports in their next game as they progress into the brackets. But of course, we're going to see more of that action after we return after a short break. We've been your shoutcasters for this game. I'm Hyron. With me is Kiora, and we'll be seeing you after a short break.